want a place where I can actually talk to people who actually don't blame everything on you. You don't understand how tough it is to be a man out here sometimes, especially a black man. And it ain't because of that we're being attacked by other races. It's because of the fact that we have been raised by women who expect us to be a certain way, and they don't know how to handle us when we break down. And there's been times in the past where I've actually broken down in silence, or when I try to talk about it, and it always comes back to being something I need to do with myself, which goes without saying. This is me, this is my mental health. Of course, there's something I need to do, but when you don't want to incorporate any of the outside factors that affect this, and you have nothing to say but making it sound like it's all my fault or anybody else's fault who has suffered through things like this, is an issue I tend to have with a lot of people. And this is why a lot of men, especially black men, suffer in silence, because we're being told either bitch, or we ain't got the answers, it's your fault, do something about it, or just things in that same spectrum. Imagine this. Imagine being a working class man like me and stuff, and you're being told every day by social media, by the actions of people of the opposite sex in your everyday life, that you are not up to mustard because you can't provide them or provide for them the way they feel like they should be provided for. Just imagine that. You know? They don't care. They don't give a damn if you live where you live for whatever reasons and you have this financial responsibility. No, it's about how my experience is with you, what you do for me and stuff. And I'm not sitting here like, okay, I need to just basically have somebody just do for me and treat me a certain way with no questions asked. This is not what this video is about. This is basically how it breaks down, that some people just aren't willing to compromise whatsoever. And when you deal with people who just don't want to compromise, you feel like, if you feel a sense of hopelessness, meaning like no matter what you do, they would never be happy. And let me tell you something. Speaking of that, a lot of what I've been dealing with is a lot of people who know that, and they try to use that to finesse you as a man. Yes. They feel like, oh, I find somebody, oh, this is what you can do for me, nigga. I found somebody that can do better for me. Keep playing around. Keep thinking, to the left, that bullshit. Keep thinking, like, this is what it deals with today. You get basically manipulated and bullied into providing for ungrateful, entitled. Yes. And I'm not about that life. You're entitled, but you have nothing that you can offer me that nobody else out here could offer me. I mean, with due diligence and patience, we can find somebody, maybe, that is compatible with us, our sense of peace, keeps themselves in good shape, very mentally and physically energetic. Because yes, mental and physical energy is very important. And this goes into what I've always talked about with the whole thing about health. But it's also mentally and physically something that you have to be compatible with. And that's for men and women. It's this whole thing where you have to have, there's a task in front of you, and you have to be able to get in front of that task and resolve it. Okay? Case in point, I'm sitting here in my newer vehicle. I have 2 vehicles now. My newer vehicle, it's a newer used car, okay? Now, I'm in a position where I needed a new car. My old vehicle needs work, it needed work, which I'm getting work on there now, okay? Needed a new compressor. It needed a new, just love and care that I couldn't give it before when I was working in environmental services because of time reasons. Now I'm realizing I work less, I make more money than I did as a housekeeper, but now I took on an extra $500 a month. So I want to be able to cover the cost of my vehicle and the expenses of repairing my other vehicle. So guess what I did? Mental energy. Got the task done. Took up overtime. I used to work 5 days a week. I work 3 days a week now. What's working 4 days again? Nothing. I am a single man. I only have pets. I don't have children. What is stopping me from getting out there and getting what I want? And now I'm sitting in something that I wanted. It's a nicer car. And now I'm in a position where I have another job that if I push hard enough, I can get the hours I need. If I really need to work, if I can get the overtime where I'm at now, why not? That's what I'm talking about as a mental task. That mental energy, getting out there to do it. And the physical, you have to have that physical to follow through on that mental. A lot of people don't think it's important, but it is. So this is why I say having that mental energy is important too. Besides being compatible, being a place of peace. I want to be your place of peace. Okay? I don't just want you to do things for me and be my solace. I want to be your solace. But you can't do that with somebody who's not susceptible to your offering. You can't be that way to somebody who welcomes toxicity as the normalcy. You can't be that way with people like that. You can't be that way with a person who's just ungrateful. And they only idea of being happy with a man is if that man is hitting them more. It's like this whole Cardi B complex going on right now. You hear about it in songs. You hear about shit that they buy themselves all the time. But they in the song telling you broke niggas can't get the kitty, right? They telling you that shit, right? But meanwhile, Nicki Minaj marries Kenneth Petty, which is he's legally a sex offender. Her brother is definitely one, right? But she's telling you what you can't do. She has toxicity in her life. And these are the type of men that she like being around, right? Look at Cardi B. Offset has cheated on her, but she's on live stream talking about she misses this dude's D down her throat. Right? But this is who's influencing you to do nothing but chase paper. See, I can tell you one thing about myself. I'm not the richest dude. I ain't looking for no woman to be like the richest woman. I'm looking for somebody who you want to build with. Oh, you want to build with somebody? You can't do it yourself? I'm like, she can't do it herself? Meaning that she comes along and I'm supposed to have things set up for her because she has pussy, right? No, that's prostitution, son. That's prostitution. No. This is like the whole the laws of courting and relationships are so fucked up today. And when I talk about stuff like this, oh, it's just you know, like you're projecting. Oh, I'm projecting? Hey, you might want to call it that. But I come from a time where things were different. You forget that I grew up in the 80s. I've watched things that I've heard things before my time were so much better. The philandering was still there. The cheating was still there. All of that was still there. But guess what? It's gotten worse. It's gotten worse. 20 plus million black babies aborted since the 1970s. Right? And who's pulling the trigger on that? It ain't our black asses. It's not ours as men, right? But hey, go ahead. Keep telling us that it's just, you know, that we ain't shit. It's who you choose. Don't be the victim of your own bad decision making. And I hate the fact that I got to sit here and I got to eat crow and I got to be told, well, men this, men that. But meanwhile, when I bring up this, oh, you're deflection. No, I'm not deflecting. I'm not like you. No, I was like, yes, I know that. I know those men out there exist. Stop choosing them. I don't want to hear that bullshit. Stop choosing them. And you will not go through what you go through. But you welcome toxicity. You chase men for the wrong reasons. And then it's always the irony of the whole situation that kills me, right? You find out that, oh, you had a baby by a dude that's not shit. You were married to a man who's not shit. And he had so much access to your viscous innards, right? He was laying down pipe like he was a master plumber, right? Which just forgave a lot of his imperfections and all the red flags that you've seen, right? And then you come along and you come along with time and you realize that a lot of that stuff is what led you to where you're at now. So now, in the meantime, you giving the right type of man the wrong type of energy. You giving him the wrong type of energy, meaning that you have always had the ability in you to be that conservative, but you chose not to because the dick was so good. Yep, it was so good and had you so weak in the knees that you could hardly speak. You lose all control. Something takes over you. You know who that song references. Anyway, y'all, I've babbled way too long. Maybe I'll post this, maybe I won't. Because I'm a fury, I'm here, now I'm out.